Hi, my dear Astro family. So today we are going to be looking at the upcoming lunation, and that's going to be a Taurus new moon, which is taking place on 18th degree of Taurus. Now, this is a really interesting new moon. The reason why, because it happens on 18th degree of Taurus, and that is going to be triggering the very special Uranus, North Node, and Mars conjunction, which took place 2022, July 31st or August 1st, depending on where you are. So we want to talk about that a little bit. But before we do that, I just wanted to let you know that if you want to receive extra 10 videos a month, which is featuring what to expect in certain constellation according to your rising sign, then you might want to consider joining my YouTube membership program by pressing the join the community button. You pay a little bit of a fee, and then I will be giving you extra 10 videos, such as I'm going to be breaking down this Taurus new moon for all 12 signs and others as well at the same time. And if you would like to study with me, then you have got some great webinars and courses available on my website, AstroViktor.com. So you might want to be visiting that and having a look at what you can find there, which might be helping you to go further in your astrological studies. But let's get started with this Taurus new moon. So on one hand, a lot of things to mention here. And the reason being is because we have got a lot of Taurian energy going on in this month. So therefore, the Taurus part of your chart is extremely emphasized. We're going to have 5 planets in there. We have got Jupiter, Uranus, Sun, and Moon, of course. And then we have got Venus, and Mercury will join this combo as well very shortly. Now, this Taurus super new moon is going to be happening on the 7th or 8th of May, depending on where you are. Now, it's a super new moon because it means that the moon is a lot closer to Earth, so therefore you can actually feel it. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is featuring the Uranus North Node Mars conjunction that took place in 2022. 1st of August. So you might want to be reflecting on your life around that period, because the Taurus new moon is going to be helping you maybe to stabilize that, to build on that, as well as to think about it and maybe take a different course of action about that particular area of your life. The reason why, because it is also featuring the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which just took place a couple of weeks ago, which happened on 21 degrees. So it's really close to that conjunction as well. Things can kickstart for you. Of course, you can see in this new moon chart that the Taurus new moon is actually in conjunction to Uranus. So it will be a little bit chaotic, but we can work with this. So first of all, we have got a stellium going on in the sign of Taurus. So what is the Taurian theme? First of all, look at where the Taurus cusp is in your chart, because that's going to be the area of life where it manifests the most. But Taurus is about safety, security. So what makes me feel safe? Do I feel good in my own skin? Do I have that internal security? Or am I able to love myself? Am I able to accept myself the way I am? It's very important with the Taurus cusp that we need to be keeping it simple. We need to be making gradual changes. Taurus is really resistant to make the changes, but Jupiter and Uranus will actually want us to make change. And maybe how you should be reflecting on 2022, that August, that you were meant to be making certain type of changes, but you didn't, because you didn't have the confidence. And now that Taurus new moon is actually giving you the opportunity to start making slow but steady changes in your life. Now, as I mentioned, Jupiter-Uranus will not be helping in this case, because often Jupiter-Uranus force us to make certain type of changes. And because the safety net is so important for Taurus, that we are stubborn about it and we do not want to go towards the light at the end of the tunnel because we are scared of it. So, but it will be very important to plant the seeds. So you might want to be looking at what you are holding on to, what are you obsessed with, how much do I get and how much do I give to others? So even it would talk to you about looking at relationships in your life, whether it's working or not. It's about looking at what is steady currently in your life and what not, what I can stabilize, but also what area of life I need to be to do some cleansing as well. But the Jupiter Uranus wants to shake up a little bit your Taurian cusp in your life, and it wants to bring in changes. Now, remember, this is a Venusian sign. And recently I've seen a great question, how can Taurus and Libra be ruled by the same planets? Well, Taurus is a little bit more about self-love, while Libra is more about loving others. And the important part of it is that you can always look at your chart, where the Libra and where the Taurus cusp in your chart, because you're going to see some very similar themes with those two. So, for example, if you have got Taurus in the second house and Libra in the seventh. Therefore, the relationship is often connected through finances, for example, or the relationship is impacting my self-worth, my net worth, or we are making money together with the partner and so forth. So that's going to be very important to think about the two Venusian cusp of your chart at the same time. So this lunation wants you to start anchoring yourself a little bit, to love yourself more, to get to know who you are, to get to know your own worth, your net worth. So imagine that, for example, you are trying to sell a product online, but you are doing it extremely cheap because you want more and more customers to come your way. But when you do that too cheap, then you might be attracting the wrong people as well at the same time. So that's where this net worth and self-worth is coming into the picture, because you're going to have to see how much effort you have put into this. Also, it might be telling you to look at your spending habits a little bit more, or how much money you've got in your bank account. That's a possibility with this as well. Or how do I turn my finances into a potential asset? Now, Taurus is a fixed energy. So fixity is always about building or stabilizing something. It's an earth sign, so it's about stabilizing or fixing your material world. It's more about practicality, it's more about daily things. But this is the feminine expression of Venus. So the femininity is the representation of accepting, assimilating. So often what happens is that we accept our faith that things are going to be like this forever, and it's out of my control, it's out of my reach, so I'm just going to give up, and then I'm getting stuck in certain situations. Now, that's where Jupiter and Uranus comes into the picture, who wants to get you out of that mindset. So, but once Taurus put its mind to something, it kind of never gives up. It's going to be protecting its assets, and that's where the security comes into the picture, because I don't want things to go wrong, because I need this in my life. I feel like, because we are still in the first quadrant of our chart, it is still about protecting the self. And the previous sign is Aries. So that would talk to us about having to build on something that we have already achieved. So we were very passionate about something, maybe during the eclipse season, and we initiated something, and maybe we have managed to achieve as well. Now we're going to have to capitalize on that. We're going to have to look at our investments, how we can turn it around, how we can make it more stable, maybe how we can make a little bit more out of it as well. In Aries, we had the strength to do something. Now Taurus is slowing you down because it's more about keeping it rather than, It's building on a certain habit rather than going with full fling. And often the Taurus part of our chart reminds us that we need to be able to make peace with ourselves as well. So that's where the self-love comes into the picture. This is not about always new adventure in Taurus. It's about being a little bit cautious, looking at, whether it's worth it or not. Do I want to invest into this or not? And then going for it. Taurus is about what I have collected so far. Memories as well as physical objects. The memories come into the picture because we have got Moon, the exalted ruler of Taurus. So it's kind of like a family photo, for example. It's about trying to find a safe place for yourself. So I would say that this Taurus new moon, on one hand, the biggest message is to find internal peace within yourself. But at one point, the Taurus cusp has got a major question, or having to answer a major question. What am I holding on to? Does it serve me? Because when we are holding on to something that is not needed in our life, eventually this is going to be a loss. Life is going to take that away from us. And that's something with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction also to think about, because it might be something that is outdated, not needed anymore, and needs to be disposed. Jupiter is the planet of waste. And often it comes with confronting others as well, who are questioning our security as well. It's about tangibility. So it's about results as well. So this is something where we're going to have to start working towards results, whether it's because you want to be, starting a new habit, for example, and then you want to lose weight. This is about not running the race, but building on the momentum continuously. Also, you might want to be asking yourself the question, do I deserve a bit of a pleasure in my life? Because Taurus is connected to 5 senses. It's about the touch, it's about the smell. So it's pretty much the nature, walking in the forest, smelling trees and flowers, as well as maybe playing with a dog or going to the zoo, something that makes you feel good about yourself. So there's a huge reminder here to do some self-tempering as well at the same time. So keywords for Taurus: building, gardening, food, but also represents fence around your home as well. So the other question that might be coming up here is that how much do I try to protect myself from others? How much do I try to protect myself from, let's say, technological advancements with Jupiter and Uranus? Because things are moving forward. But when you are getting stuck, then there is a huge gap getting built between you and others, or between you and the situation. And that's why you might need to be reflecting on that 2022 August as well. Taurus could represent cooking. So do I want to cook healthier? Do I want to eat healthier? Or am I going to be doing takeouts like I used to? Or am I actually going to be investing in a cooking class, for example, and I'm going to make the food at home? Taurus represents bakeries. Why are we talking about food a lot? Is because this Taurus new moon is being trined by Ceres, which is the asteroid of agriculture, food sensitivity, grains. So we might be seeing some new technological industrial revolutions in the food industry, and we might be seeing some dryness really in the world as well, making the bakery industry suffer a little bit, or even the cost of living to be rising because of some extreme heat in certain part of the world. This could talk to you. Taurus represents the mud. So are you in a mud? Are you in a muddy situation? Because that Jupiter-Uranus wants to get you out of it. And in order for you to find that inner peace, sometimes it's good to do some mantra, some singing, some meditation, because it's about realigning the body as well as the spirit at the same time. Taurus represents your posture. So this could talk to you about, actually, if it happens in your sixth house, that you've got a bit of a spine issue and it needs to be stabilized, it needs to be fixed, it needs to be put back into place as well. And Taurus represents your throat and the neck area. So working with the throat chakra a little bit, working with your thyroids a little bit, could be a very good new moon kind of ritual. But you know, the fine things in life, such as the silky sheets, for example, or, you know, there is that saying that apple keeps the doctor away. So maybe it's just, again, implementing some healthier routines so that we can feel healthy overall. So looking at your structures in life, and Jupiter Uranus wants to shake that up as well. It pretty much wants you to try out, for example, new food and so forth. So weight could be a major one, or therapy-wise, you know, we can go to a chiropractor, we can do some tea therapy, aromatherapy, sound-related therapies, or any type of massages, or anything to do with mud as well, to make that skin look good. So if that's something you want to do, then this is a brilliant. Now, some of the negative sides of Taurus is that it can become possessive. It might have got issues to share something with others, or not being able to let go, or it is about hoarding. Jupiter Uranus will not tolerate that. So we're going to have to, you know, unfortunately, do a little bit of a spring clean. This new moon is actually an invitation on that. Also, this could talk to you about, on a spiritual level, that I want to be safe. I'm afraid if something is missing, or I'm going to miss out on something, so I'm going to hoard. Nothing is enough. Or I'm afraid of losing someone, or I cannot let go of things because I feel like I would be incomplete without it. Or we can have that belief system that if I have money, I'm someone. So your net worth is tied to your self-worth is tied to your net worth. And it's also about the realization that not everything can be bought. Money is not everything. Memories also count. Happiness also count. And flying, like soaring around, also matters significantly. Also, it's kind of like I want to live in my own property. I want to be following my own rules because that gives me certain type of happiness. Or I cannot get angry because I just need to temper my anger. So this is something to do on the spiritual level where you can create some type of new habits, for example, building on the insecurities and turn them into something better. Why am I talking again about so much the insecurities and the fear parts? Because it's trining Ceres in the sign of Capricorn on 21 degree, and Ceres can represent fears, depression as well, and self-parenting. So this is a time to turn things around. Fear-wise, this could be, you know, because people are with me because of my money. Or if I'm in a relationship, I will lose my stability. Or if I'm not in a relationship, I will lose my stability. Or I have to depend on someone, or I have to start all over again. Or the fear of leading and being in the spotlight, or the future is unstable, or someone who is going to take advantage of me. So all these are getting triggered with the Jupiter-Uranus, where it is asking you to update your belief systems around it. You know, some of the scripts that Taurus might be running is that, oh, I can be on my own. I don't need anyone. I don't need any type of help. I just need to be working on my strong roots. So Taurus represents the stiff neck, right? A stiff neck means I cannot turn, hardly can turn because, you know, it's painful. So it does indicate that you do need someone. That's just the script, past experiences, which might be coming from the family. Moon is the exalted ruler of Taurus. So it's needed to be actually realign your belief system around it. And this new moon is actually asking you to plant the seeds, to start doing that, to take care of yourself a little bit more. You know, often strong Taurian people is going to start their sentence once upon a time, you know, a little bit of a storytelling as well. So there's a tendency to live in the past. But Jupiter Uranus wants you to move towards the future now. Again, there is a need here to balance things out. So, okay, pretty much I think that's enough of the Taurus archetype. So let's go into a little bit more details. So I think what it's gonna be talking to us about is let's build strength. Let's examine the strength of the physical body a little bit more. Let's work on how to preserve the body. And how we preserve the body is through the food, for example, or through the, you know, the strength training. So there is an emphasis here that you might want to start doing those type of things. Now, as I said, we've got this beautiful trine to Ceres, which is very interesting because Ceres is in the sign of Capricorn until about October, and Ceres is sitting on its retrograde degree already. So it is indication to me that we are going to be reviewing this topic actually in the next 7-8 months. Ceres will be going retrograde on the 14th of May. So that's only going to be happening next month, but happening on 21 degree of Capricorn. So you can look at that Ceres as stationary. So you might, for example, imagine that I have been trying to lose weight, but I don't see any movements on the scale. Ceres will be retrograde until August 26, and then it's going to travel back to 7 degree of Capricorn. And now I find it very interesting also because we've got the dispositor of this full moon, new moon, Venus, hanging around 8-9 degree of Capricorn around this new moon. So therefore, you might only see results in August around where you're planting the seeds now. But this Ceres retrograde is more about, you know what, dealing with things professionally. So I feel like in the world, or first of all, what is a Ceres retrograde? I mean, it is asking us to look at our habitual way of connecting to the physical body, how we take care of ourselves in our bodies and our material stability. It is asking you to look at how do you maintain your body for longevity, what is the best way to feed yourself, do you have mental stability overall, do you feel safe, and how do you manage your money, how do you build on your wealth. So I would say that Ceres is kind of like a little bit of a lifestyle planet here. So this is, and you know, Ceres goes retrograde only once a year, and the retrogradation lasts for about 3 months. Now, the aim of this video was not about Ceres retrograde because I did make a video about that already last year for this year. So if you want to revisit that video, that would be quite smart. But for example, last year, Ceres went retrograde in Libra and Virgo. So it started on 6 degree of Libra, February 3rd, and then it went back into 23 degree of Virgo. So what you see here is that interesting that last year Ceres stopped on 23 degree of Virgo, where Uranus is sitting currently in that chart as well. So even you can go back to 2023 between that February to May 6 period to look at if you have started something there, because you might be able to plant the seeds around that topic now, or you might be able to stabilize those routines as well. So this is one of the major aspects I wanted to talk about. In the world, we might start seeing some type of new ways of growing food, new dietary fads, for example, or new initiations of how to solve the food issue, or we might start seeing some food sensitivity, or how the farming is going to be changing. If I'm not mistaken, farmers are on demonstration at the moment. And to be honest, I would not be shocked if it went on and it would become a longer period of time. And one of the reasons why I believe that is because Mars in this chart, you can see, is sitting around 5 degrees of Aries, so being close to the world axis. And that could represent that I want to be expressing my anger. And in the astrology of May video, I've spoken about the Mars and the North Node conjunction, which can build further on our frustration as well. And the other reason why I believe that this kind of problem can last longer, because in this new moon chart, you see that Mercury is also squaring Ceres as well. So this is about confrontations around the food industry. There is going to be talks about it also, or maybe attack towards food chains, for example. The cost of living is going to be a big topic, I feel like, in the next actually until August, for sure. But how am I going to make peace with all these type of things? The inner peace, how to create that, how to center the self, how to center your body. Also, the other big meaning of Taurus is, of course, money. And with Jupiter and Uranus there, the digital currency, the banking industry might be actually, coming forefront with this. So there is going to be further developments. Or what is my financial style? How much money do I make? Is it enough for me? Can I sustain on that, or do I need more? So it might be an upgrade of how you make your money and how to make more as well. Now, Ceres in Capricorn is also, as I said, revisiting something to do with the financial industry. So that's going to be a big one. But on a personal level, this is about relaxation, enjoying life as much as we can. What I like doing versus what I don't like doing. What I don't like doing is maybe I'm going to be postponing, or I'm going to get rid of it completely. And I'm going to focus on more what I like doing. It's about the stimulation of your 5 senses, pampering, indulging yourself, walking, in nature, smelling roses, just putting a little bit more luxury into your life. Another big topic with this could be about loyalty. So who are loyal to me? Who am I loyal to? I feel like the reason why it's going to be very important is because you also see an exact square to Chariclo on 17 degree of Aquarius. And Aquarius is the people. So what people are providing me some type of support and healing. I'm going to talk about Chariclo in a while, because I think we haven't spoken about Chariclo for a long time. She hasn't been in the picture much recently, not at least since COVID, pretty much, where Chariclo was in conjunction to the Saturn-Pluto Jupiter alignment around that time. So we're going to speak about Chariclo in a second. But questioning the loyalty or the motives of other people, of social media, and so forth. And interestingly enough, Chariclo also talks to us about inner healing. This is not a medical healing. This is about a psychological healing. Now, the dispositor of this new moon is Venus, and Venus is in rulership. So that's brilliant. The only technical issue with this Venus is that it's combusted. So meaning that Venus might not be able to see the self properly, might not be able to see its own worth. And because a combustion could indicate internal matters, internal beauty, we might not be able to accept it that the internal beauty just counts as much as, for example, the physical beauty. It might be something that you cannot see clearly that is right in front of your nose, maybe an opportunity with the Jupiter-Uranus, because somehow, obviously, this Venus is blinded here. So I would say that you're going to have to walk with open eyes as much as possible. Now, the asteroid that is connected, that is Chariclo, we wanted to talk about that as well, because we've got quite a tight square going on with that. So what to mention about Chariclo? Chariclo was the wife of Chiron to start with. Oh, I might want to give you the astrological number in case you want to be looking at where it is in your chart. Its astrological number is 10199. Chariclo is the largest asteroid. Actually, it's bigger than Chiron. It's about using the divine power to heal and to assist others as well. Chariclo represents spiritual awakening, the wife of Chiron. So she's got this healing power as well. And just think about what happens when you are sick. You are alone. You are in the bed, resting up, and so forth. So that's why it represents spiritual awakening, because we start thinking about the worth of life. And Chariclo wants you now, alongside with this new moon, to kind of do that. This wants you to overcome some of your tragedies, your insecurities, so that you can start manifesting something. You know, when you look at Chiron, or when you compare Chiron with Chariclo, Chiron has his wounds, and that is kind of like a reminder of his past and the consequences of his actions. Chariclo is more to do with enjoying the healing process and leaving that wound behind. Chiron was unable to leave the wounds behind. So this Chariclo is an invitation to act on your wounds and leave them behind. Chariclo in your chart shows where you suffered the most previously, or in this incarnation, so something to do with trauma. But also it shows you how you can recover from this illness as well as from these traumatic experiences. This is an invitation to find the roots of your physical illness rather than trying to treat the symptoms. So this Taurus New Moon is telling you that the root of your financial problem is not the job, let's say you do, who is underpaying you. It's your insecurity that you are not looking for a new job and you are not looking at your opportunities. And I think it would be very important to remember. Chariclo is a very unique one. I mean, at the moment of her discovery, there was a 6-pointed star. She completed the 6-pointed star on the sky. So this is a magical object. This is telling you that there is power behind kindness, for example, especially in the sign of Aquarius. But what happens is that, you know, probably I've mentioned this before already, but people are, you know, in certain type of groups, and what I see is that the hate speech on social media is huge. So someone asks to, you know, to share their experiences about, you know, how their travel was with a certain airline. And they give a experience that, for example, the food choices were poor, or there was only one option available, and so forth. And then the answer is, okay, so well, are you that big on food and stuff like that? And what we need to understand is, and that's a message with this Taurus energy as well, that people work hard for their money. And they buy this luxurious item, and we expect more and more to be given. Obviously, we've got the North Node in the sign of Aries, which is about entitlement. So that's a natural process that people are, you know, feeling entitled to receive something once they have paid for it. So anyway, so Chariclo is in the sign of Aquarius. So that could talk to us about how to establish social boundaries. how to be a little bit more compassionate to others, but also drawing a line where their help or sense of support to others somehow ending in a way. And that's important to remember, because then what happens is that people are going to be taking advantage of us. By the way, Chariclo spent 8 years in the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be there until 2028. And it went in to Aquarius in 2020 alongside with Saturn and Jupiter as well. So this is a big one. Maybe I should be making a separate video about this, but now it's getting activated by this new moon as well. So what else to mention about Chariclo? I think I mean, as I said, it was playing a very significant role in the pandemic chart. By the way, Chariclo has got a 60 to 63 year of orbit. So you really experience her around 16, 17, age 31, 32, and then 62 to 63. And these are maybe the years when you are meant to be doing certain type of healings. But she was on 22 degree of Capricorn, sorry, 24 degree of Capricorn at the moment of the Pluto, Saturn, Mercury, Sun, Ceres conjunction at the start of the pandemic. So it was also playing a very significant role. And what I feel like most likely is that the reason why I think it's very important, because when you look at the discovery chart of Chariclo, Chariclo was discovered on 6th degree of Leo. I'm going to give you the date as well in a second. Let me just quickly have a look. 15th of February, 1997. And she was discovered on 6th degree of Leo. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction was opposing it from Aquarius from 5 degree 42 minutes. So I feel like it's very interesting that the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction now is being squared by Chariclo. So this could indicate that 1997 is going to be also a year what you might want to be looking at in your own chart as well, because you might find some type of colorations between that period and now as well. And I feel like this Chariclo is all about making or the freedom of speech, but as well as making meaningful connections. Chariclo connects the heaven and the earth. And that's exactly what happens now, because she is a 6-pointed star at the discovery chart. So which represents the perfect harmony and balance. The heart chakra, what Chariclo represents. It's connecting air and fire pretty much in the discovery chart. It's so interesting. I think it's all about how to make the society one, not wasting a moment in your life. It's about carpe diem. It tells you that the greatest strength comes from within, and it's staying in the present as well. Some additional meaning to Chariclo is sci-fi, astral travel. We might see topics around that, or fostering children. So we might see topics around that too. Scientific research, surely it's going to be a big one. So guys, this is my interpretation on the upcoming new moon. I hope it helps. And then if you want to know how it might play out for your natal chart, then you can book a consultation with me, as well as you can sign up on my YouTube membership program by pressing the join button. And then you will get additional 10 videos a month. See you soon. Bye-bye.